All right, it's time for Wine Wednesday. Now a local sommelier and restaurant owner wants to share her wealth of knowledge with the average wine lover. That's me, I'm the average guy.
Yeah, if you've ever felt like the world of wine is just overwhelming, well, we're here to help. Today she's launching an in-depth digital education program in the hopes of making wine more approachable for everyone. Sommelier Kelsey Glasser joins us now on the couch to tell us more about the new classes. Good morning.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to see you again.
Yeah.
I love this idea because even as someone who is a self-proclaimed wine nerd and loves to talk all about it, there's so much to know. It can be very overwhelming.
Well, and it's a fundamental flaw, in my opinion, in the way that wine education currently exists in our world, because what does exist is designed for wine professionals, not for the wine enjoyer. So, you know, if you're becoming a sommelier, if you're going to sell wine, if you're going to distribute, then there's a course for you, but not if you're just the average person who knows they like wine, but doesn't know what they like, how to articulate it, how to describe it, how to find it.
Yeah.
So that's what this course is designed for.
That's perfect. I mean, truly, I mean, I like wine, I love wine,
Yeah.
but every once in a while somebody will be like, I'm getting forest floor. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Have you licked a forest floor
Yep.
before?
Right.
I don't get it.
Right?
100%.
Oh man, well you've done this before in terms of this. You really try to break down that barrier and educate people that to really immerse them into how to get to know their wine. Where do we start here? Where do we start with your classes? Where do we start with what you have on the table?
Well, what we have on the table is sort of a separate thing, because we always have lots of wine going on at Arden, and we have a fun winemaker dinner coming up with this amazing brand called Chosen Family. And it kind of going hand in hand with the course. Their whole ethos is about making wine with the people they care about and sharing it with the people they care about. And I love their approach. It's really friendly and relatable, and it's the opposite of like this pretense and stuffiness that can sometimes be associated. So we're kind of launching this brand, and right along with it, we're doing a winemaker dinner with them in 2 weeks at Arden.
Very fun.
Which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of Portland winemakers, Chosen Family, Channing Frampton, Kyle Love among them, is really trying to make wine accessible. So
Exactly.
So your course is called Raise a Glass.
So the whole brand is called Raise a Glass,
Okay.
and this first course is called 7 Day Sommelier.
Nice.
And we might launch more courses in the future, so that's why there's 2 separate names. But this first one is really designed to be an entry-level course as the point of entry for anyone who's just starting off. So we're going to talk about what wine is, how it's made, what are the major grapes, what are the major regions, how do we taste wine. We talk about blind tasting, which is always everyone's favorite part. Then we go over all the major regions of the world. We talk a little bit about like the history and culture and what they pair the wine with. And then at the end we talk about pairing wine with food, shopping, decoding labels. So my approach was like, what would everyone need in order to feel confident and empowered to just go out and know how to pick the wines they like.
Right. So you mentioned blind tasting. So let's give folks like a little sample of that this morning, right? Because I think a lot of people have been there where you're at a restaurant, you order that bottle of wine for the table at dinner, and the glass comes over for your sampling, and everyone's like, looks great. Like, what do I do, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do when we get the wine in the glass?
Well, when you get the wine at a restaurant, what you're really checking for is the wine flawed? Technically, it's not do you like the wine, because it should be up to the restaurant to articulately describe to you what you're getting. Then you're really just checking for, is it bad? Is it corked? But most people don't really have that confidence or that skill set, and it comes with time, but there's some simple things that you can learn. So I can teach you one quick trick, which I don't know if you're allowed to drink this early, but I can demo it for you.
We can hold glass and look fancy, so you know, Travis, hand me one of those.
Oh,
we can swirl.
Oh,
there
you go.
I thought we could talk about like when you swirl a glass, what are you actually doing? Because often we get handed a wine at a party and we're like, why am I doing this?
And someone always says, oh, some nice legs.
Like,
what are you talking about? Yeah.
Well, and when you swirl a wine, essentially what you're doing is aerating it. You're getting the ethers in the alcohol itself in contact with oxygen. And that starts to open them up and release the flavors and the smells and everything that we enjoy. And so when you're doing this, you're actually like letting the wine breathe. And when you sip the wine, here's your sommelier hack for how to look like a wine nerd. And it looks a little weird, but you actually aerate it in your mouth. So if you actually went to a wine tasting with a bunch of wine professionals, you'd see them doing this.
Okay.
And so this is what you can steal and do at your party.
Okay.
So you're gonna put the wine in your mouth, you're gonna kind of like aerate it through your mouth, just like you would through a fancy aerator. And then you're gonna swish it around like mouthwash. And you're coating your whole mouth with the wine, and you can taste it much better than if you just sipped it.
Interesting. So you're not like slurping on it and being rude. This is really how you taste it.
You know, if you're really just going for efficiency, that can be your strategy.
That's a good one to keep in mind.
But if you're trying to like take your time, you know, but this is kind of what it looks like. So you swirl it, you smell it, you take a little sip.
Oh, there you go.
And there's the magic.
Okay.
This might be my favorite way we've ended a show because we have 5 seconds left.
We're going to give it a try off the air. Thanks so much for joining us, Kelsey. You can learn more at raiseglasswine.com.